This is Joy News Prime.
Welcome to this Christmas Eve edition of Joy News Prime. My name is Israel. Coming up, death and destruction in Eastern Region town after dynamite stored at a quarry exploded Wednesday night. Chief of Staff orders refund of 1.9 million cedis of monies paid for rebranding of 116 public commuter buses as preliminary investigations by Attorney General reveal overpricing of the contract. Agric Ministry assures recent bird flu outbreak in Tema has been contained and that it is now safe to consume poultry. And as many prepare to celebrate Christmas, some 6.4 million Ghanaians are likely to be left out because they are extremely poor. We give you a fair idea what it is like to be in their situation. Stay with us for the bulletin, which is also available across Europe on ABN television, on the Sky platform, as well as Freeview Connect. Now, very first story, dozens of people in a small community in the Eastern region are not celebrating Christmas this year. Their preparations for the festive season were literally blown up by an explosion from an abandoned quarry. One person has been confirmed dead after dynamite at an abandoned quarry at Nsuomedojiri in the Eastern region detonated.
Paibo, a community in the Nsuomedojiri municipality, has been thrown into a state of shock and mourning. Family, friends, and the entire community are counting their loss after the community was literally shaken to the core by a dynamite explosion from an abandoned quarry. One person was killed in the explosion. The deceased, 38-year-old Ibrahim Mohammed, was in his house when the first explosion occurred. Out of curiosity, he decided to take a look for himself, but met his untimely death when the second explosion erupted.
He should have been patient. He went out looking for his friend. My son should have remained at home. He was even expected to marry in January, but now he is dead.
As much of the world prepares for Christmas, this community is mourning, seeking answers and trying to rebuild. Businesses, farming activities have all been brought to a halt. Several buildings have collapsed, with others' roofs ripped off, while properties worth millions of cedis have been destroyed as a result of the explosion. About 13 other people who sustained various degrees of injury in the explosion are being treated at the Nsuom Government Hospital. Many of the residents have now been rendered homeless. Others are also trying to salvage some property.
By then, I built my house down here during, it's about 1998. Most of these structures were not here. And Piabu was then cracking the rocks over here. So it was destroying my house. So I circulated letters. Even Adwaji Chief also circulated his. Adwaji Chief and elders circulated their letters. Minister of Mines to the Environment, Minister of blah blah blah, Office of the President. They are aware about this deadly cracking of rocks over here. They are all aware, family aware. They didn't react to it.
As they struggle to put their lives back together, the people in the community of Paibo are demanding answers. According to residents, managers of the abandoned quarry were forced to stop operating because it did not have the necessary regulatory license.
Now, Acting Inspector General of Police John Kudalo and other government officials have visited Paibo to assess the extent of damage caused by the explosion from the abandoned quarry. The IGP promised that a thorough investigation would be conducted into the incident.
The Acting Inspector General of Police, John Kudalo, Eastern Regional Director of EPA, Eastern Regional Minister Enchibusia Kosechere, and the Deputy Minister of Interior, James Agalga, on Thursday visited the explosion site for a first-hand briefing about the incident. Initial investigations, according to officials, showed that there were a total of about 27 containers filled with explosive at the quarry site. Only 7 of them were left intact after the explosions on Wednesday. The acting IGP called on the residents to assist the police with any information to help with the investigations.
I want to tell about the good of this area that we shall continue for our patrols, our security for them, for the unit-tied, and they must cooperate by giving any information that they have on the existence of this facility, so to facilitate our work and make sure that we get down the culprits involved. And so nobody has shown up as at now as owners of that facility. But once again, I assure you that we shall get to the bottom and make everything painstakingly to ensure that justice is done.
Deputy Interior Minister James Agalga said a committee will be set up to investigate the explosion.
The importation of explosives is covered by some legal regime, which even requires that before you bring them into the country, you must obtain the minister's permit. The CID has something to do with the issuance of licenses once the permit is issued by the minister. And so the issue needs to be thoroughly investigated so that we understand how the quarry, the company involved, came by those explosives in the first place, whether they complied with the illegal regime or not.
The owners of the quarry are yet to be identified. Reports, however, indicates that the original owner abandoned the site until recently when a new company started operating it.
Right, we can now go live to our reporter Edwin Kofisian for more on the story. Good evening to you, Edwin. What more can you tell us about the mood in the community? Hello, Edwin. If you can hear me, what more can you tell us about the mood in the community?
Well, easy. Good evening. I can report that residents are devastated. They are actually wondering why such a thing could happen to them at this point in time. They were in the mood of celebrating the Christmas when this incident happened. So, in a nutshell, I should say that people are surprised at what happened yesterday.
Right, so as of this afternoon, we knew that there was just one person dead and several others injured. Do we have any update on the numbers?
Well, as at the time I was leaving the place, it was the same number.
Right.
The one person dead and the 13 people injured. But the 13 people who were admitted at the hospital, some have been discharged.
All right.
They've been treated and discharged. But as it stands now, it's only one person. The police say they have recorded as being the dead person.
Right, now, do you feel that the residents of the community are in any way assured by the words from the IGP and the government officials who visited?
Well, according to the residents, that is, they take the words of the IGP in good faith. But they are also saying that they fear that there could be another explosion, because yesterday, when it exploded the first time, in about some few minutes, the second explosion also came. So they are scared that there will be another explosion, maybe from now to tomorrow. So some are saying that they're not going to stay in the community. They're staying elsewhere till everything returns to normal.
All right, thank you very much, Edwin Kofisian, joining us from the Eastern region. We're taking a break on Joy News Prime. We'll be back with more stories. The government is being accused of breaching an agreement to pay up the salary arrears of dozens of nurses. The agreement was reached in September following weeks of agitation by the health workers, collectively known as a Coalition of Unpaid Nurses. My colleague Hannah Dame caught up with spokesperson for the coalition, Douglas Edu Foucault.
Members of the Coalition of Unpaid Nurses have served notice that on the 31st of January they will embark on a strike. They will lay down their tools because, according to them, government has not been fair with negotiations with regards to their unpaid salaries, which have been in arrears, some as much as for 21 months. I have with me a spokesperson of the association, Douglas Edufoko, to tell us exactly why they intend to embark on the strike, despite all the promises and assurances government has given them that their allowances will be paid. Douglas, I know some of your members were paid, so why are you still going on the strike?
Exactly, some of our members were indeed paid, but it's not all the 7,000 as perceived within the public sector. I mean, only 30% out of the 7,000 were paid, and even those who were paid were not paid fully. We have some of them who the government owes about 12 months, 11 months, 14 months and the likes, but they were paid only 4 months out of that specific amount. As we speak now, I have evidence of 20 people in only Western region who have worked from 11 to 21 months without a single salary, which is very disheartening.
I know that your mother organization, the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, is negotiating and also intervening in this matter. How far has that been, and what's their input with regards to this particular threat that you have issued?
If I tell you that they are not doing their best, then I'm lying to you.
Despite all of this, you still have the discrepancies in the salaries?
Exactly, because they assured us that hopefully by the end of September, every individual will be paid fully.
And that's the reason why you returned to work on the 8th of October, if I remember.
Exactly, because the persuasion they used worked on us, and we were much convinced. When the government introduced this 3-month directive policy, did the ministers, I mean the MPs, who collected their salaries with arrears, did they fill anything like arrears forms? No, they never did. The doctors who embarked on strike and they were paid fully, did they fill any arrears forms? No, they didn't. So why nurses? Is it not being biased? Is it not bias? Is it not injustice? So where is the justice that we are talking about? We are celebrating Xmas, but we are celebrating the Xmas with sadness, because some of us are being, we borrowed money from people and they are now harassing us. We go to work, we can't even smile to our patients because we are already traumatized. We are going through so many psychological trauma, which is not good for our healthcare. Because if you claim you don't have money, but we have money to allocate for other ministerial or sectors to paint buses, then I think the government is being unfair to us.
And so, as you have heard from Douglas, nothing will convince them to return to work on the 31st of January 2016 unless government this time round pays every salary that they owe all the nurses. They mean their words, and government is over to you. My name is Hannah Odami for Joy News.
The company that won the contract for the rebranding of 116 transit buses is to refund 1.9 million cedis to the government. According to the Flagstaff House, Smarties Management Systems appears to have inflated the cost of the contract by more than 100%. A statement from the presidency appeared to admit that there were anomalies with the contract because of the procurement method used. The controversial contract has already forced the transport minister to resign from the job. Anti-corruption campaigner Vitus Azim says the resignation notwithstanding, there's need for further investigations into the award of the contract.
Well, I think we can commend it, or we should commend it, on the condition that she was not compelled to resign, that she, on her own volition, felt that she had to accept responsibility and resign. If that's the case, I think that it is commendable, because as the honorable member said, it is not a common thing in this part of the world. In fact, there are a number of times that, but I think even in Parliament, people try to defend this matter. And I really thought that was improper, because Parliament is supposed to ask all the questions of the ministers. And when when she was being questioned to give the details of the breakdown, or the breakdown of what went into the cost, the way it was discussed, I thought there was something lacking. And they still went ahead and granted, and approved the budget for the ministry. So yeah, I think it's something that's commendable, and we hope that other public officers will follow suit if they find themselves in such a situation.
Do you think that the matter should just die there, or what recommendations or suggestions would you make as a follow-up to get to the bottom of this matter?
I don't think this should be the end of the matter, because if we are really serious about fighting corruption, if we are serious about ensuring that we avoid waste, the people that were directly involved, the people that went through the whole process, should also be held to account. For example, the minister accepted because she's head of the agency that was responsible is under her ministry. But she might have not been the direct person that actually did everything.
Yeah.
So you need to ask, was the thing done with the proper authority from the appropriate quarters? If it was done with authority from the appropriate quarters, did they go through the procurement process? And if they didn't, in fact, the report says that there were no, it wasn't done. So who was responsible for that? Such people should be sanctioned. You cannot just leave it at the resignation of the minister. The minister just was honorable and said, well, I'll resign. But that doesn't mean that no other person did something wrong. And so we need to look at who were the actual people that were directly involved and then apply the necessary sanctions. Because if you disobey the provisions of the Public Procurement Authority Act 663, there are some prescriptions that some sanctions that you have to go by. And so I think this cannot be the end.
In a related development, a member of the legal team of the NDC, Nana Atudazi, says Parliament's failure to properly scrutinize projects presented for approval is partly to blame for recurrent reports of bloated expenditure. The former Chief of Staff says, being a key part of government machinery, Parliament needs to be strengthened to appropriately check facts and figures contained in the motions presented to the House. He was speaking in the wake of the controversy of the rebranding of public transit buses on a special edition of Joy FM Super Morning Show in Accra.
Parliament must do more. I would say that Parliament will have to do more in terms of investigating and examining the documents placed before them. You know, recently I had some ministers or MPs who had participated in the car power project. You know, come out and say that, oh, we didn't hear everything, we didn't get every information, we didn't know, we were misled. No, you shouldn't come out and tell us that you are misled. That is why we put you there. That oversight responsibility is that of Parliament. I've always said that we must strengthen Parliament, its own operations. If there is an issue of capacity, we must assist them to build. Parliament must build its own capacity.
In other news, authorities at the Cape Coast School for the Deaf are appealing for help to fix lighting systems on campus. They say students often fall and get injured at night because of the malfunctioning lighting system. Richard Kojonyako has more.
The Cape Coast School for the Deaf is a school that cares for visually impaired persons and students with hearing difficulties. According to the school authorities, teaching and learning suffers a lot because the school lacks some basic facilities like whiteboards for effective teaching and learning. Apart from these difficulties, some of the children find it difficult moving around at night. This is because the campus is thrown into darkness at night because all the lights in the school are not functioning. According to the assistant headmistress of the school in charge of academics, Regina Silfi, the assistants from the corporate world and individuals will be a perfect gift for the Yuletide.
In fact, the children are very happy. You've put smiles on their faces. Asking all individuals, organizations to come to the aid of the school and help us. We are even asking individuals to come and reconstruct our toilet facilities for us, our lighting system, our bathroom. We had challenges of water, but now with the help of other organizations, they've been able to give us borehole.
Reverend Father Theophilus Odamte, who led the St. Mary's Virgin Anglican Church in Cape Coast to donate foodstuffs and other items, called for support from churches in the country to put smiles on the faces of the students at the Cape Coast School for the Deaf.
As a church, we deem it fit to be organizing these things for people in society. I think that the primary role of a church is to help the needy in society. So these kind ventures that you have shown, we would want other churches to also replicate same.
President John Dramani Mahama has called on feuding chieftaincy factions in Murugu in the northern region to give peace a chance. He says government can only facilitate development in the area in an atmosphere of peace. The president was speaking at Durban to celebrate this year's Damba festival in Murugu. Hashmin Mohammed filed this report for Joy News.
Speaking on the occasion of the 2015 Damba Festival celebrated in Murugu on the theme, Building the Kingdom of Murugu Together with Peace and Unity, President John Dramani Mahama said the incessant revival of the age-long chieftaincy conflicts between the Jamong and the Jafok clans in the Murugu traditional area is affecting the agenda to transform the northern region.
The fact that we have a common heritage and culture should bind us together at all times and remind us always that we are one and the same people. All the people of Gabon are one and the same people. The theme of the celebration should therefore be a clarion call for all of us to take active steps that will give peace a chance in Gabon. We must be able to resolve in our hearts and minds to settle any differences amicably as people of the same heritage and culture. Gabon has certainly experienced some unpleasant and undesirable events that have unfortunately tainted this rich tradition and heritage. These unfortunate incidents have tainted not only Gabon, but all persons of northern heritage.
President John Mahama said government was committed to bridging the developmental disparities between northern and southern Ghana only in an atmosphere of peace. He emphasized the need for peaceful coexistence in some identified conflict zones in the northern region.
It is my hope and prayer that this celebration will mark the beginning of a new era, an era that will unite us together as one people with a common goal of progress and development for our communities and our traditional area, the Gabon traditional area, and indeed for the whole of Mother Ghana. May we continue to appreciate and celebrate the things that unite and bind us together. May peace and development thrive in our communities, and may this year be a year of prosperity and progress for each and every one of us.
The Nairi Na Bahigu Mahami Abdullahi Sheriga appealed to government to provide potable water to the people of Murugu land while charging chiefs and opinion leaders to strictly enforce traditional laws. The Nairi Na also impressed upon the two major political parties, the MPP and the NDC, to deepen their tolerance before, during and after the 2016 general elections. The Nairi Na later decorated President John Dramani Mahama in a smock in appreciation of his participation in the festival.
Former Attorney General Ayiku Otu says the governing party's fact-altering communication strategy has contributed significantly to the country's power crisis. He says the governing NDC has persistently refuted expert analysis of the power situation from the onset, hindering the national quest for solutions. The MPP stalwart was speaking on a special edition of Joy FM Super Morning Show on Thursday.
I think it's propaganda that has led us to where we are now. You know, when people started talking and saying that, look, it's a matter of money, finances. Are we paying for gas? Do we have money to pay for gas and all that? They say it's a generation problem. It's machines that are broken down. It is population increase. They started to divert attention to the point of saying that, well, MPP never added even 1 megawatt and things like that. On Newsfile, at a point, I got so much, stress that I was not going to even discuss it anymore because they kept on saying the same thing. It is now that they have seen the truth that it's all money, money, money. Get us the money, get us the gas, we'll get the Doomso off, we'll get the Lushadi off. So they've come to reality, and I'm saying that propaganda has brought us where we are.
Right, you're watching Joy News Prime. Before we go for the break, I'll bring you some of the comments that you've posted on our story about the bus rebranding saga. The Attorney General has been ordered to recover 1.9 million Ghana cedis from Smarties Management, the company that did the rebranding. So we have Nitaki. Mark Orlando says it's still too expensive. As the Chief of Staff, a branding expert, and Blessing the Prince says, so rebranding of buses to then they take Chobo-ish. Now you people pass mechanics. Tom Aquinas Samba says only 1.9 million cedis. All the 3.6 million must be retrieved. Under the Kufuor administration, the rebranding of metro buses rather generated funds for the state because companies were allowed to advertise on the buses. What kind of element is Mahama administration wasting hard-earned money like that? Then Doji says, in our personal ambitions, as we are individuals, but in our seeking for economic and political progress as a nation, we all go up or else all go down as one people. Let's do the right thing. In our time, political speech and writing are largely the defense of the indefensible. I'll take one more. Joe Stone says, Ghana can never develop unless we are transformed and it's manifest. Our school reward people who study more and more about less and less. So our school rewards people who study more and more about less and less. Our education is even corrupt. The useless ones here will do MPP, NDC here. So those are some of the comments that you've posted on this story. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll bring you business news. It's our time for business. And to reduce the stress of commuting from Accra to Tema and back on a daily basis, Intercity STC will be exploring the possibility of introducing a hovercraft service. Yes, a hovercraft service next year, which will reduce travel time to 26 minutes. The managing director of Intercity STC, Samuel Amadonko, says the innovation will ease traffic jam, especially on the Accra-Tema motorway, and expand the country's transport networks.
We've realized that a lot of people live in Tema and work in Accra. So they shuttle between Tema and Accra on a daily basis. And so with those who live in Accra and go to work in Tema. So we from STC are exploring the possibility of bringing in hovercraft services between Accra and Tema. So we have set up a unit that is working seriously on that project, so that we will have a station around Sakmon area. In the morning, you can drive to that location, you park your car, and you can ride on the hovercraft. It takes about 26 minutes to get to Accra, around Osekan area. And the same thing for those who are also in Accra, working in Kumasi. And this will reduce the congestion and traffic jam on the Tema motorway. And at the same time, give some kind of solace and relief to the passengers who are driving. Sometimes people travel on the motorway and you fall into traffic. After hard day's work, you have to fall in traffic and get to your destination maybe after 2 or 3 hours on this short stretch of 18 kilometers. And we want to take off that stress. And we believe that if things work well, we will introduce this as a way or as a means of reducing the stress on the roads using the marine or the sea resource which is lying fallow. This is what we want to do, and we are praying that we will have the support and prayers of Ghanaians, and then we'll be able to do this. And if that works well, we are even looking at the possibility of expanding the services from Aflao to Alubo.
All right, so just out of curiosity, I thought I would pull up images of hovercraft to see exactly what it looks like, because this is what the STC is looking at exploring to ease traffic congestion between Accra and Tema and to make things easier for everybody else. I suppose the hovercraft is supposed to be over water. Well, it can also be over land, but I'm not sure exactly where they intend to, where the route is going to be. But well, this is what we're looking at when we're talking about a hovercraft, unless they have another one in mind. All right, still with business. The Ghana Insurance Association has reaffirmed its support for sanctions meted out to insurance companies that do not pay their premiums promptly. Here's a business desk report.
The association has told all our players, if they don't follow the rules and regulations of the commission with regards to claims payment, then they will have themselves to blame. Normally, claims, complaints will be lodged with the association. We step in, we talk to them, and then we also refer them to the National Insurance Commission. Those who really have the power to sanction is the commission. So naturally, if they don't pay within the period that the commission says, the commission will definitely sanction them. and we will support it fully.
The president of the Ghana Insurance Association, Ivan Avrayere, spoke to Joy Business after the association donated a set of computers and printers worth 16,000 cedis to the four transport unions, GRTCC, GPRTU, Protoa, and the Ghana Cooperative Transport Association. The move, which forms part of the association's corporate social responsibility, is to help the unions keep data of the operations.
During the year, I think we had some small misunderstanding when the issues of premium insurance came in. I mean, we didn't do this intentionally. It is because we want to serve you better. With the motor premiums, what we should know is that we do it in order that we can be able to meet the claims of all these passengers who lose their lives or limbs in the accident. And more often than not, it is because we cannot imagine the number of accidents and payments that are going on that we think that maybe insurance is not doing as well as it's supposed to do. From today onwards, when we set up these things, anytime we pay a claim, we will send the information to you.
Mining firm Newmont has reached an agreement with government on the renegotiation over the country's stability clauses. This is a Business Desk report.
In a press release by the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, the Sector Minister Newsa Mills noted that the Government of Ghana and Newmont Mining Corporation have announced the completion of the renegotiation of Newmont Ghana's investment agreements after good faith negotiations. He said the objective of the renegotiation was to ensure that all major stakeholders, including the people of Ghana, mining companies and their investors, equitably share in the benefits that mining brings while ensuring the long-term sustainability of the mining industry. He said the proposed changes are expected to improve benefits for the Ghanaian government and economy and increase revenues for the government while assuring a fair, predictable and beneficial long-term basis for Newmont's business in Ghana. The renegotiated investment agreements, now consisting of two separate agreements, one for each Newmont Ghana entity operating in Ghana, were submitted to Parliament for ratification in June and ratified by Parliament in December 2015. According to the Minister, the new agreements are fair, responsible and sustainable as they address the long-term interests of the government and people of Ghana while maintaining investment and fiscal policies that promote stability and predictability. Newmont Ghana has affirmed its long-term commitment to Ghana and says it will continue partnering with the government and people to bring sustainable value and opportunities for all stakeholders.
And that'll be all for business. Now, Christmas Eve is traditionally the day that traders and store owners look forward to larger than average sales from last-minute shoppers. However, this year proved to be a disappointing one for them because even though the business district was bustling with activity, actual sales was lower than expected. Jennifer Kwama was out doing some shopping and filed this report.
The Tudu business district of Accra was bustling with activity as customers rushed around doing last-minute shopping. Although the number of shoppers was encouraging, they didn't buy as much as the traders expected.
At least it's normal than previous. As in the previous, we do buy more with what we have now, but as you can see currently, we are buying less with what we used to buy. But at least we are managing it.
On their part, traders and business owners expressed disappointment at the high numbers but low patronage.
Madam, you can see, nobody is buying. Plenty people are in the town. Last year we are collecting money, we can't even collect it. You get me? See. We have plenty goods over here. I don't know what is happening.
Things were not going on like the other Decembers. Oh, no order better.
Today's business, I think, is going on well. For us, each and every day we do sell as we're supposed to do. So I think today's business is nothing extraordinary. Last year was a bit great than today.
Another interesting sight was the open display of firecrackers and rockets on the market. The main complaint about them was not that they were being sold illegally, but that they were too expensive.
It's changed. Things are much expensive than it was last year. And yeah, the people are not reducing the prices too. They don't want to reduce their prices. That's basically it. So it's kind of difficult shopping.
One thing was clear from both shoppers and traders alike. Business was slow, but there was hope that next year would be better.
The Greater Accra Region branch of the Motor Traffic and Transport Department is blaming the unusually heavy vehicular congestion in the national capital to a change in shopping habits. They also say an accident in the Dansoman suburb could have contributed to the gridlock in the city. In an interview with Joy News, Commander of Accra MTT, the ACP Anderson Fosu Aka, said his outfit will work hard to keep the vehicles moving this Yuletide.
This morning we started traffic management as early as 5:30 a.m. I was at Dansoman Junction and there was an accident at Dansoman Junction and that created a lot of traffic from Dansoman right down to Makati Hill. So after 6 a.m. when the accident vehicle was removed out of the road, we saw there a lot of heavy traffic coming and all of them converge at, those coming to Accra converge at TTB, this intersection. And from here to Lawrence Park, you see that people could not exit. And human traffic, you see a lot of people also working on the pavement, and they've taken part of the road. So if you walk through from CMB up to Lawrence Park, you see that human beings have taken one side of the road, leaving the other side for traffic, and that also accounted of traffic within the city center. As a result, those from Circle coming to the Kwame Nkrumah Avenue to Accra Central could not have any way because there is only one route. The dual carriage has turned to go at a single lane. That also caused the traffic. Or no accident for me, it hasn't come to my notice. But on the 25th, my advice to people who will be holidaying that they should not take to drink driving. People who might not have license may take that there might not be enough or sufficient vehicles on the road, so they may try their hands on the steering wheel. They should avoid all those things. And people who are tired, because people may be working today, tomorrow, and they'll get tired on 25th. All those people are advised not to drive. If they know that they are tired, they should hire somebody or they can join any commercial vehicle. And tomorrow too, people who think they can park their vehicles elsewhere and join commercial vehicles, I think it would be better for them to do that so that they might not still be in congestion and they may get home very late and tired.
The bird flu outbreak in Tema and its front has been contained and resolved. That's according to Deputy Agric Minister in charge of Livestock, Hannah Bissio. She says it is therefore safe to consume chicken this Yuletide. Dr. Bissio spoke to Joy News after touring some abattoirs in Accra.
It's been long resolved. You see, any time that you hear there's an outbreak on a farm, because we've gone into contain. So as we speak, we do not have any issue with the bird flu.
And obviously you also shared some of her findings of the tour of our tours.
Well, the reason for the tour, first of all, is to familiarize ourselves with what is going on in our various abattoirs. And you also want to see how best we can do to reshape, the abattoirs that we have in our country, and also to make sure that during this, festive seasons, we deliver nothing but healthy meat to the people.
So what is the purpose of today's tour in Greater Accra?
It's the continuation of what the ministry has started. This morning from 3 a.m. we were at Amasaman Abattoir. We've gone to Accra Abattoir, we've gone to Gihok, and then we are here in Jefanko. So it's a continuation of the visit. And from here we'll be visiting live bird markets. That's
So through your visit, what came up? What are some of the issues or challenges that you met with the people?
Well, some of the places you have the structures in place, but what you see happens on the ground is a management problem. And so a place like Kumasi Abattoir, they have what it takes to be of standard, but there are issues with management. And I'm not saying because they don't manage themselves well, but when it comes to an abattoir, the main job is to slaughter animals. And so if the process is bad, then the things are not happening very well. There are a lot of things in Kumasi that are not right, huge number of things. And one will ask, why didn't we close it? We did not, because it's not because they don't have the structures to operate. They are not operating it well. So they've been given time to work on it. We will go there again and we will push for closure if they do not, abide by the sanitary regulations that they have to. And in fact, I've instructed the vets that as a vet, a professional, it becomes unethical and unprofessional when you approve a meat that you know you shouldn't have approved.
Now, how do you celebrate Christmas when you live in abject poverty? Some 6.4 million Ghanaians are not sharing this holiday because they're extremely poor. These are people without access to basic human needs like proper drinking water, food, or places of convenience. Ifwakwa Harrison met the Sokpo family at Benkum near Ukapim Latte and reports life for them is simply about survival.
One day to the next. That is how the Sokpo family lives. They stay in the cracks of Benkum, surrounded by forest, having only each other for company and a makeshift room of aluminium and plastic to lay their heads.
Achu Sokpo. Echi Sokpo.
It would have originally been a family of 8 with 2 sets of twin boys, Portia, the eldest girl, and another boy.
The children died from a curse. It is called Asram here. The children just didn't grow.
The family is barely surviving like this. The twin boys, who are almost 2 years old, were found severely malnourished. 7 months pregnant with her 6th child, Abla Sokpo, according to health workers, is also not receiving optimum nutrition, but she thinks not of herself.
I wish my children had clothes and food to eat so that they will be healthy.
It is a headache for the sole breadwinner, Michida Sokpo, a farmer who lives and works on borrowed land.
I used to be a watchman in a brewery, but the pay was no good, so I decided to quit and become a farmer. I met the landowner here and he asked me to be the caretaker. I regret becoming a farmer. I lost my harvest. If I had money, I'll buy land and build a house and think about putting up a shop to sell. Everything depends on money.
The United Nations lists a number of things to describe extreme poverty. Lack of access to proper housing, for instance, or lack of access to toilet facilities, lack of access to safe drinking water, no access to nutritious food. All things the Sokpo family don't have. I mean, their staple meal is banku and soup, which is not enough nutrition for growing children and a pregnant mother. If not for access to free medical services at the Latte Health Center, the Sokpo family would continue to live in privation. Samuel Esiedu is a staff nurse at the Latte Health Center. He chanced on the family when Abla took her young twins to the clinic.
This is the food I've been giving to them. It's RUTF, ready to use therapeutic food. We use it to treat marasmic kwashiorkor, and this kind of disease. When we came, their weight were 5.0, but now they are 6 going. So it means it's working. 21 months, they are supposed to weigh something like 10 kg going.
The family has been under the radar of the center and social services for a while.
It's more than 3 years back. I went there with my community nurses. And the way they were keeping themselves there, it was not actually the best. We could see that it's just extreme poverty that is putting them in that way. Sometimes we see the place that they lodge, I mean their home, where they call home, it's not good at all. When it rains, in fact, all the children are wet. So first we try as much as we could do. We brought in the Tetakwashi social worker also to help them. But there's no finances for her also to move up and down to do her work. So she also decided to pack back. And since then, we also stopped going there frequently. It was later on we decided to go back this year to see how best they are doing. And the new community nurses that have been posted, they also pick it up to seek for help.
It has been a week since we visited the Sopo family. I have been thinking about how the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty Program, or LEAP, can help them. This is the government intervention to ease poverty rates in Ghana. So I seek out the Social Welfare Department in Nkwanta North, where Benkum Latte falls under, to find out if the Ministry of Gender has been alerted about the family's plight. The office is closed, but I managed to get the district coordinator on phone, who tells me the LEAP program has just been launched in the eastern region and beneficiaries are yet to be identified. Back to the Sopo household. It's 2 days to Christmas and clothes, food and water have been sourced for them. But this is just a temporary measure.
The aim of the interventions are not really to get them out of poverty, but is to be resilient to poverty. What it means is that they should be able to cope within the context of poverty they are finding themselves in. Otherwise, there is so many poor in Ghana, and you cannot take all of them out of poverty. But at least we have to create the environment that within the little that they have, they're able to grow and then grow in a way that does not affect their health and their safety.
The United Nations says global extreme poverty rates have been cut by more than half since the 1990s, but millions of people still live on less than $1.25 a day. People like the Sopo family. For now, the family has been giving a little lifeline. The Sopo family is smiling this Christmas. From Benkum Latte Kriapim, Ifo Akwa Harrison, Joy News.
Well, as you go about celebrating Christmas, you may want to spare a thought for families like the Sokbos who may not be in a position to celebrate. Right, let's do some sports now. Well, Gary is not here, so I'm fully in charge. And we begin here in Ghana. And as you know, Hearts of Oak have been under a new Japanese-American coach, Kenichi Hashi, for the last few months, and pundits have been watching his pre-season preparations closely. One man who has not been convinced is the legendary Mohamed Polo. He feels the new man ain't good enough.
Let's give him the chance, but it's early times that we have to judge him. But it's something that we will see the future. It has to start somewhere, and we cannot wait, because House of Oak is not a playing ground, you know, for experiments. So it's very important that they see it in time before it's too late.
And on to some English football now. And Boxing Day will serve as some thrilling action, and one is Arsenal versus Southampton. This game has unhappy memories for Arsenal from last season when they lost 2-0. But since then, Arsenal have lost only 5 Premier League matches, and they return to St. Mary's with that is very great music and a very wonderful way to usher you into the Christmas Eve entertainment segment in this JCN.
Hello, Israel.
Good evening to you.
Good evening to you as
How do you
well.
like that kind of music? It's not your typical Mansa or broad day.
That's what I was going to say. You know, it's not music of my time. You know?
It is
so I can't
music
really,
of your time.
Yes,
this
even though
music,
it's Christmas.
This is evergreen.
No, but in my time we don't sing the way. In my time we used to sing Feliz Nabuda. That's what we used to sing in my time, you know. So I'm used to Feliz Nabuda, not this one.
But this is rich music. The kind of music that sets your soul at rest. It's the kind of music that takes you to heaven. If you go to heaven, this is what they're playing.
Really?
All right, before we get to entertainment, let's get onto social media and look at some of the stories that we've posted. So we have this story. It has to do with the death at the quarry sites that happened, the explosion at the quarry sites. One person, we're told, is dead. And we have now there's this question here. We asked, what would you like to eat on Christmas Day? And we posted this photo of some very sumptuous fufu
with
and
benkwan
and some crab and some other things. And then, well, there's also the regular burger and fries.
And then fries.
And people, so Ben Amako says fufu will be the best, plus bush meat and 2 fingers, because I'm typically a Ghanaian. And then we also have the story. What's your favorite? We asked this question. What's your favorite Christmas song apart from Keisha Kwame appears 24th? And here Salifu says, everywhere you go, Dumso, Accra, Dumso, Tamale, Dumso, Ulensi, Dumso, Logi 3 times. Is that a song too?
I haven't heard that one.
I didn't know about. Okay, and then this one. We'll be coming to this one in a bit.
Sure.
So it's the Men to Boys 997 choir.
Yeah.
And it's actually getting some reviews. See, we have 55,000 views on this one.
True.
So people are really loving it. Rafik says, in fact, Joy FM's choir masters of Boys to Men 997, you should next year contact celebration on TV.
Yeah, they redeemed their image today.
Then government to impose more taxes on petroleum products. Well, I dropped you hints about this yesterday. So the story is here. Now, one other thing I'd like to draw your attention to is this message somebody sent to me. She's called Patricia Uwusu Echan, and I'm just going to read the message. Hello, Israel. I'm a regular viewer of Joy News and the entertainment segment by Miss G. Can you please do me a favor by featuring this picture of my friend's adorable baby on the entertainment segment by Miss G? It's just photo of the day. And that is him. His name is Nana Osei Kwejo. This will really make our Christmas. Can you please be this adorable baby boy Santa by featuring him on the TV? Well, I'm just going to do that. They said the mother is Safua Osei Tutu. So here's the boy.
Aww.
And he is indeed adorable. So, Nana Osei Kwejo, your auntie or Auntie Patricia just made you famous. Okay. Now let's get on to Twitter, see what is the trends. We have 24th night live. And then in Ghana, when it's Christmas, the hashtag in Ghana when it's Christmas. And then D2, okay, let's see. What's here? 24 night live. Right, now it looks like my screen is frozen. I'm sure it will come around eventually.
Yeah.
But let's do entertainment. So let's start off, Miss G.
Okay. And definitely we're going to start off with your girlfriend. Okay, no, the girlfriend that you wish you had, you know.
Oh, who's that?
You don't know your girlfriend anymore.
The girlfriend I wish I had?
Yes, but she's married.
I'm not sure.
You don't know who I'm talking about. Guess who?
Give me hints.
Okay, she got married this year. You were at her wedding.
Sally.
Yes,
Sally.
Yes. Sally and her husband, Cartel Big J, came by this morning on the AM show. They had a discussion.
You were hosted by the royal couple.
By the royal couple. Gifty Auntie spoke to them. And amazingly, this time, they didn't talk entertainment. They talked about national issues, politics, and, of course, the trending issue about the 3.6 million branded buses.
Yeah.
And Sally had a take on it. And then her husband had his take on Dumso and how it has affected his works.
It's outrageous. I mean, the amounts that they are quoting, that they are, the posting of the stickers are worth, it's just too much. I mean, I don't know what is happening in our country. I see a lot of beautiful, I mean, the roads are being done, you know, there are nice things going on around town, but the citizens are complaining about so many things. And then we wake up, then we get to hear that these are the amount that is being, I mean, that has been paid for the rebranding of, you know, buses with presidents' faces on it. I mean, this is totally outrageous.
Do you think her resignation should end this saga?
I don't think so. I think we should probe more into it. You know.
Yeah, there's a lot that's Ghanaians are lacking now. Citizens, basic things like like lights, like water. You know, yeah, Dumso is a major problem.
Yeah, does it affect? Is it affecting you professionally?
It does. You know, these days, people will have to check their. You call your sound engineer, Charlie. Today we go fi can't work. Oh, Charlie, make I check my Dumso timetable. You know, they actually have a timetable for, you know, they consult their Dumso timetable before they will consult even the artists who are supposed to be working. So it affects us in all ways. Somebody also made a joke that it's affecting their marriage, you know. It's here because, well, you know what I mean, you cannot do your thing in that heat.
And of course, Doomsday is not affecting you in any way. It's not affecting your marriage, at least. No. Yeah, you know, you can do your thing even in the darkness. That's what he said. Okay. Like, you know.
I don't know whatever he means by what.
So why did you have that expression on your face then?
I was wondering what you were, because I didn't say it. He said it.
Ah, okay.
Next up.
Next up is the turn-up party. It's trending as well. It's happening today at the Junction Mall. Hit FM turn-up party.
Okay.
You know, we're having a turn-up party at the Junction Mall, and you're going to be there, Israel, because I'm taking you along with me there.
Okay, cool.
Yes. And
if you're taking me,
yes. And the finals of the DJ's contest, the Hits FM Hottest DJ contest, is going to take place there at the turn-up party. And then we're going to be partying with our fans all through the night till Christmas Day, you know.
Wow.
So it's a place to be. That's what's happening. And then from the turn-up party, let's talk about Men to Boys 997 Choir. Hey, today they were really on point.
They're trending.
They're trending, you know. Unlike yesterday, where they didn't make us, you know, feel them that much. They were on point, and I tend to believe them when they said that they had.
Is it that they were on point, or is more like the lyrics they used? You know,
were catchy. You know, No. Yesterday, like I said yesterday, some people were singing in G sharp, some people were in F whatever, and they said they had a member who intruded. So today the member, I think they stopped him, and so it was just the four of them. Led by, yes, they say yesterday was IB that destroyed the whole thing, but led by Atukwam Nadazi today. All the songs.
So let's watch them do it.
5 months arrears, 4 years of doom, so 3 weeks no water. Too many strikes. La 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 la, and a dead goats in the front seats. 5 months arrears, 4 years of doom, so 3 weeks no water. Too many strikes. La 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 la, and a dead goats in the front seats. Fall on your knees, oh ye generator noises, no lights tonight, no lights, so charge your phones, no lights tonight, no light, so charge your phones. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Doomsday New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Doomsday New Year. Doomsday bells all the way. I the first time before the easy shine. Doomsday bells all the way. I the first time before the easy shine. Oh, me, Cafe, 24 to go, Kurum. Why shall we leave me any of that? Who are somebody back in the only would never go? Who are paying grass in our
Right.
And they killed it. You know, today they were so much on point. And you know, you can tell from the footage that the one who is the instigator and the leader of the group doesn't need a script, and that's Atukwam Nadazi.
Oh, of course.
Yes, he doesn't need a script because he wrote the lyrics. No, tomorrow we should have him sing for us, you know.
There's this guy on Twitter, he's called Fudela. So he, in fact, the lyrics have been, it's couch from NDC Carols.
Okay.
So it was trending at some point, and so they picked the lyrics from there, and they decided to sing.
To sing it. They sang it marvelously well. Congratulations to Men to Boys Choir, 997 Choir.
They did a good job.
Well done.
Now they're telling me that they're getting calls from all over the world that they should come and perform.
No, they shouldn't go performing.
They said even Sako they called them and said.
So they're going for the Rapaholic concert. That would be great. It would be great to have them, perform at the Rapaholic concert.
But they're bluffing. I mean,
there's no big deal about them.
Sako, they should come and pay them some big money.
So they also want 120,000.
Or maybe they want 3.6 million.
Okay, so today they should rather have their faces on the buses. That's enough for them. Anyway, now let's talk about Juliet Ibrahim, who presented radio, both Hits FM and Joy FM. Cake for Christmas. She brought us cakes for Christmas.
That's nice.
Yes, that's nice. While we were giving out cakes to people, she also thought of bringing us cakes, for all the good works we've done. So, season greetings from Juliet Ibrahim. We are grateful for this one. We weren't expecting it, and so we are grateful that she passed by to bring us cake.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you, Juliet. I hope that you find a white man to marry. She said she wants a man who thinks like a white man. Yes, so I pray, oh God, please give Juliet Ibrahim a man who thinks like a white man. Amen. Say amen.
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 So
okay.
That's what she's
all right. So Nicolas Cage is in the news. Guess what happened? In 2007, he bought a dinosaur skeleton, from Mongolia. No, it actually was from Beverly, one of the shops in Beverly. And then what happened was that in 2014, he was called to be told that it was actually a stolen dinosaur skull. Okay. And so he said to return it. He has to return it. And it cost him about, I think that's about $276,000, yes, to buy that. And he won the bid against Leonardo DiCaprio. So he's supposed to return that to the Mongolian government. Sorry for him. Yes, he has agreed to return it, and he's not being charged for anything because, of course, he didn't know it was stolen. Neither did the shop also know that it was a stolen one because they actually gave him a certificate that it was an authentic one and all that. And finally, the child Saint West.
Yeah.
Yes. Have you seen pictures of Saint West?
No, I've just heard.
You just heard that, okay? There's a baby boy by Kim and Kanye West, and the child is called Saint West. Now, apparently, magazines and media houses are wishing and yearning to pay up to $2 million just to have a picture of the child. And they're also bluffing them. They don't want to show the boy to anybody.
What do they want? They want $10 million.
No, they're not even concerned about the money this time around. But it looks like they want to keep, the child private. They don't want anybody to see.
It's eventually going to come out anyway.
True. Kim herself, one day, her, she'll just take a picture of my son, blah, 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 blah. And it's all over Instagram. So they should just show,
She wants probably what she wants to do is to break the internet.
Maybe. Of course, maybe she's planning something.
Break the internet with the baby's photo. All right.
So,
thank you very much, Miss G, for bringing us
Thank you, Israel. But tomorrow, what's going to happen on entertainment is you and I are going to have a dancing competition here for Christmas.
Who says I want to compete with you?
Also, you can't compete with me.
I'm not going to compete with you.
That means you can't compete with me. All right, so that's it for entertainment. Israel.
Thank you very much, Miss G. We're taking a break. We'll be back in a bit.
Entertainment news was